From the Post-Millennial again, Virginia high school staff accused of secretly helping students get abortions, including pressuring a girl who was 5 months along. Alrighty. An investigation is underway in Virginia's largest public school district after allegations came out claiming a staff at a local high school arranged and funded abortions for students without notifying their parents. The claims involved Centerville High School in Fairfax County, where employees allegedly helped at least one 17-year-old obtain an abortion in 2021. The story was first reported by the WC Dispatch, which said there were 2 instances of female minor students saying school officials arranged and bankrolled abortions at Fairfax Health Center without so much as a phone call to their parents. Under Virginia law, physicians must attest that at least one parent or guardian was contacted before performing the abortion on a minor. The 17-year-old student was allegedly assisted by a school social worker who scheduled and paid for the appointment and kept the information from the student's parents. A second female student who was 5 months pregnant was allegedly told by the same social worker that the student had no other choice, but the student fled from the clinic and did not go through with the procedure. Per the outlet, school principal Chad Liam allegedly greenlit the procedures, which were paid for with school funds. Well, this is disgusting. I
didn't know they earmarked school funds for that.
Apparently they do. Any time the conservatives or the right says things like, oh, the Democrats think their kids are yours. Democrats sit there and protest, no, 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 no. And then you hear about stuff like this, like, students 5 months along, right? Like, my girlfriend is 7 months along, but I just imagine 5 months along, you're going to abort a baby. We were, feel the kick in and stuff like that was a baby. I don't care what anyone says. 5 months, it's a baby. I don't care what you say. If I understand correctly, at 5 months, it's possible that the baby could be born and survive under, it has to be in care and stuff, but it can survive at 5 months. So the idea that thankfully the girl ran away from them, which kind of makes it more horrible, right? The girl's being ushered in, right. And it just gives you this concept of them trying to be no, you got to get rid of that thing, and they're just no. So yeah, I mean, I can't imagine thinking that this is acceptable, and I imagine that you don't either, but...
No, I don't. It's very icky, right? So hearing it is very icky. I am pro-choice, but also coming from, a health background, mental health, whatever, this is all shady because there should be... they do need to have parents' permission to do anything as a minor. So this does not seem like it was gone about obviously the right way.
Well, that's kind of the shocking thing, and this a lot of this came out during the critical race theory and the COVID, during COVID when parents could see what their kids were doing in school. But it's weird. The Democrats are so creepy and weird on this every time. I understand what you're saying, the parents' permission. No, that's actually not the case. In a lot of states, the schools trump parents' rights. So the school can say, schools will, treat a kid as trans. If a kid says they're trans, a school will treat them as trans and will never tell the parents, abortion like this, never tell the parents. It's a strange thing. And to Phil's point, they do say, these are our kids. We love these kids like they are our kids. And then you see this weirdness of them including the parents. And I've talked to a lot of educators, especially that were on the left, and their argument is always, their defense is, well, a lot of these kids have troubled homes, and we know if we tell their parents they're trans or they're this, they're going to be treated like crap at home and yada yada yada. But it's at the end of the day, it's not their kid.
So it's I agree with you.
I mean, if you say that, you're a Republican. If you say, oh, it's parents' rights, the parents' rights don't exist on the law.
Well, everywhere that I've lived and worked, I've always needed permission when working with minors from parents to whatever. So this is surprising to me to see. That hasn't been my experience.
Yeah. Depends on what state you're in.
This is a decision that, I don't think should have been done without the parents being involved, for sure.
You've heard stories of minors going for transition surgery and stuff? I mean, this to me seems like the mild situation, which
Right.
is ridiculous. I mean, the fact that I'm even articulating this idea is mind blowing to me. But an abortion paid for and handled by the school is actually significantly less. I mean, I'm not sure about that, but it strikes me as significantly less offensive than a teenager or maybe young teen getting some kind of transition surgery without the parents' involvement.
I hear you. I think like those things can like coexist, right? They can both be. I don't know that everyone's situation is different, but I also agree with you in terms of I don't think those surgeries should be done on children either. I definitely think that children can feel a certain way. Maybe they feel more like a man or
like
a woman
they're a
in
truck, right?
Yeah. What?
Like when kids are like, I'm a truck.
Oh.
You know, you're not going to go and like drain out their blood and stuff
But
them
I
full of
think
motor
any
oil,
of
are you?
those, right, like long-lasting surgeries, et cetera, things like that, like very definitive. I disagree with those being done on minors as well.
Yeah, Tim brings this up a lot. It's like you're watching the same movie, but it's two different screens. It's like the Democrats see this as actually protecting the kid. You know, they see this as like healthcare. They see this as like keeping the kid safe, you know, from the parents. So it's like it's hard to like explain to people that literally think they're doing a good thing for kids. Like, hey, this is horrible child abuse, and the parents should be involved. It's a tough one.
I'm not so sure that there are people that really believe that they're helping so much as they really believe that there should be more people that think like them. Right?
No,
like
I
I
think
think
it's
that
a little bit of both.
there's I think that when it comes to like the LGBT stuff, or especially when you're talking about trans people, I think that they are looking to make more of them. And
Oh, for sure. I think it's
and
both. But they truly think what they're doing is, you know, good for the kids. And so, yes, of course they want them to follow in their
So
footsteps.
they're pushing their ideology onto them for their future gain.
I mean,
I don't
spread the news.
I'm not so convinced that it's about the child, right? Like I don't think that it's I think at the end of the day, like really down deep, it's not like, oh, we have to help these kids. It's I want more. It's a narcissistic thing for the trans people that are trying to get get kids to transition.
Sure.
It's not like, oh, I want to help these kids. They really need help. No, it's I want these kids to be like me. It doesn't matter that the kid, because if it was really about the kid, they could be like, well, we can wait, because there are even if you're making arguments that are pro transitioning, right? Doing it to children is bad, if only because there's not enough material to fabricate the genitals of the opposite sex when they're children, because their genitals haven't grown. So now this is not in any way like some kind of endorsement. I think that it's an abomination. But if you really care about the kids, then you would want to have as much material to work with so you have the best possible outcome. But they don't want that. They don't care about that. They want the transition to happen as early as possible because it validates their own mental.
Well, yeah, I agree. There definitely are the activists, and there definitely are the useful idiots. But at the end of the day, most of them still think they're saving the kid's life from committing suicide, because that is.
I think that's
the end goal. If they don't transition the kid, they are convinced that the kid will self-harm.
I disagree. I disagree. I don't think that it's actually the like fundamental motivation is not about the kid. It's not about saving the kid. It's not about having a kid that transitions and has a better, happier life. It's about get this kid to transition because that validates me. I think it's narcissistic, and I think that it's not about the child, because like I said, there are arguments for people that agree. Like I don't agree with this, but I can make the argument that if you think that it's good to transition, you should wait until their genitals have fully matured, so that way you have the most material.
But they don't think they're going to make it that long. They truly, if you talk to, Angela, back me up here.
I
think they're
tend to
lying.
agree. Right. It's hard whenever you generalize. Like, I don't think you can't generalize across the board. I think everything is situational, but I would say in my experience, I more believe that they think that they're helping.
Correct.
Like, I think it might be an overreach or a stretch, or based on being older and thinking
You've been had.
No, but I do, like, I have I have a trans cousin. My aunt has, like, I've seen her go through that process. Like, I genuinely don't think that she is pushing anything on her.
Right.
Like, I think that she feels like she's trying, like, he was bullied in school, and I think they're unhappy and potentially suicidal. And so I do think my experience has been more that people genuinely are trying to help and think that they're doing the best thing. But I agree with you that it's a young age to be doing like a surgery like that.
There are activists at the top totally that know exactly what they're doing and are trying to further the ideology, like you're saying. But I think a lot of the educators, especially, like, truly believe they're helping the kid. Like, they've just been, they've been brainwashed into thinking this is the way.
So your argument is not that the educators, as in like people that you would
teachers,
consider
regular, like,
normal people,
like
so
regular
they bought
teacher.
into the line
Correct.
that the trans people that are
who run the schools, who are at the top of the schools. Yeah.
Okay, I can understand that. I think that does make sense. I think the people that are the activists that are the most likely to do things like kidnap a kid, take them to a place where they can get a transition.
Yeah.
I think those people are the ones that I'm referring to.
Yes.
And I don't think that they're actually motivated to help people. I think they're motivated by the fact that they're narcissists and that they want to see more people like them, and it validates their own what's the word I'm looking for? Their own self-image.
Yeah, their own like motivations. And it's like, and it's sad too, because like the hardest thing on the left these days, which is really sad, it's like, everything you're saying is right, Phil, about like why they shouldn't be doing it. But as soon as you have that discussion with an educator on that level, like, they shut down. They stop listening. They stop talking. Like, you can bring up all these facts. Hey, you should wait till you're 18. All these things. Hey, this thing about like self-harm in a video game is not necessarily true. Whatever. They just shut down. And so it's like really hard to get through to them. And they're the ones that are overseeing the education system. So.
And like bringing it back to the story that we were on, like, I think the social work, that I do think that they probably want to help these children, but there are those measures in place for a reason, right? Like with going through the parents, and that's it. It's just like, it's crossing a boundary and a line for sure.
I agree. I think it's most when it comes to teachers that would help a kid get an abortion. I think that is them thinking that they're doing the right thing. Because if you listen to people make arguments for abortion, I think the vast majority of arguments for abortion are bad. But then, because they're always like the extreme cases that are like, 0.01%. Oh, they'll be poor. Oh, so it's better to kill a kid as opposed to have a poor kid?
In a video
That's
game.
insane. That is absolutely insane. So they'll make the argument of what about rape and incest? And then the conservatives are constantly like, okay, we'll make a carve out for rape and incest. How about we do that, and then all other abortions are out. No, because they know that 99% of abortions are actually just about birth control. Mm-hmm. They're not about any of the preconceived or any of the arguments that you hear made, the exceptions and stuff. It's never that.
Well, you got to be careful on the conservative side, because birth control is not necessarily the most popular on the conservative side, too. So that's where that whole discussion gets really weird.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.